When I was 5 years old, there was something in my life I loved very much. She was about 8 inches high and a foot long. Her name was Sandy, and she was my dog. I fed Sandy every day, played with her, teased her, took her for walks, and showed her to members of my father's congregation. My father was a minister, and we lived next door to the church. One day, Sandy got sick. She would not run or play. She just sat on her blanket. After a few days, she died. I remember very well how hard I cried. I could not control my tears. I missed Sandy so much. My father knew very little about grief responses. In fact, this was long before Kubler-Ross's book On Death and Dying, which more or less brought death out of the closet for most of us. But my father did know enough to help me put Sandy in a wooden box, dig a hole in the backyard, sing a song, say a prayer, and read the Bible as I placed the box in the ground. My father called it Sandy's funeral, and some of it was recorded on film. I have thought about Sandy many times, and I have especially thought about how I responded to her death. Here are some things we need to remember about the death of a pet. Most people will lightly dismiss the death of a pet, so the griever is sometimes really left alone with the intense pain. Many times people will suggest just getting a new pet. In reality, the griever wants the pet that has died back. Also, there is an unconditional love the pet shows the caretaker, which makes the bond strong, which makes the grief stronger. A pet always accepts the owner and is always there. A pet will almost always defend the caretaker, and many times a pet will rescue. These are characteristics we do not often find in human family and friends. When society doesn't accept the normal grief of a pet owner after the pet dies, we refer to the griever as disenfranchised, meaning the griever does not know what to do with all the painful feelings. Make no mistake, when a pet dies, the bereaved will go through the grief process just like those who grieve the loss of a human loved one. In general, our society needs to be more accepting and sensitive and caring to those who grieve the death of a pet. If you would like to learn more about the death of a pet, please select one of the options on this page.